Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I'm a voice teacher. Today I'm going to be reacting to and analyzing Sara Bareilles performing her cover of Sia's Chandelier.
Party girls don't get hurt, don't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down, I push it down. I'm the one for a good time, car phone's blowing up, ringing my doorbell. I feel the love, I feel the love.
She sounds really good so far. Sounds really easy so far. It's pretty light. She goes into it a little bit through some of the phrases, but she's giving a lot of room for the song to continue to grow. If you start out a song really huge, it doesn't really leave much room to grow, at least in dynamics. I mean, you can get smaller if you start really big, but most songs tend to want to have some sort of shape that moves, that grows all the way through it rather than remaining stagnant.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
See, she's leaving so much for the chorus.
1, 2, 3, drink. Throw 'em back till I lose count. I'm gonna swing from the chandelier.
And then she flips.
From the chandelier.
Ah, gosh. When she came back in, she was so thin. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, look at how big my voice is. It was, look at how easy I can sing. She made just this beautiful, easy sound. The first time that she came in with the I'm gonna fly, swing on that C, which is on her second bridge. Most people have these things called bridges. It's a place where it's a transition between different parts of your voice, and usually singing right on a bridge is one of the more difficult things to do. It takes a little bit more skill than people usually figure out just inherently. It takes a lot of practice to figure out how to do that well. And she just came in super easy that second time. The first time I felt like was a little bit bigger, a little bit more grabby than that second time in. I really love that way that she came in the second time. But I mean, you could get away with doing it the first way all the way through your set, but I just feel like that second one is a little bit more versatile and it has more room to grow even within the note, because if you come in like that, like how she did where it kind of glided into it and it was a nice balanced onset, then you can even grow just with the one phrase. So while we need to have dynamics all the way through the song, we also need to have dynamics through each phrase. And starting it like that, making that technique choice, gives her a little bit more room to grow all the way through. She is kind of tilting her head up as she's singing these things. I have had a really great voice teacher actually tell me to do that just a teeny bit. It's kind of beneficial for some people. A really big thing that a lot of people have to learn is not to trace the pitch with their body as they're singing. So like when you sing low notes, we don't really want to scoop. And when we sing high notes, we don't want to reach super high. She's going up a little bit, which I think what that teacher, that ENT, was trying to help people with. It's nice and it sounds easy for her. It's just something to be careful with. Like if I was telling completely amateur singers to go around and just imitate this kind of emotion, they'd get really into it because they want to do that anyway. You kind of have to get rid of that habit before you can play around with what the optimal head position is. And I'm not sure if this is the optimal head position for it, but it's getting this great sound, so why not? I mean, it sounds great.
Like tomorrow doesn't exist. Like it doesn't exist.
She's showing a lot of teeth.
Gonna fly.
On fly, it went into this bigger open vowel, and if she held on to that, I don't think it would have went up to the bird in the night as well as it is doing, but then right out of it, it narrows slightly. So you can hear just the timbre kind of change as soon as she goes to fly like, in that like part. It just narrows enough that it changes the acoustic properties and it starts buzzing in a slightly different way. That was a really, really great choice. She has an awesome teacher, by the way. Like, I think she's still taking from Wendy Parr, or at least she has worked with Wendy in the past, and Wendy is amazing. And then she's so skilled at going between those flips and then that nice, intense mix. She's really good. And then a stylish flip. And she's so expressive, and that's what I think is the most difficult thing for me to teach people, is how to connect to a song in the way that she's doing. I'm a vocal specialist, a vocal technique specialist, but there's a point where you need to stop thinking about the vocal technique and stop trying to line things up and focus on what words you're saying and focus on what meaning you're trying to express, because that's all that this is. At the end, we're just trying to be expressive, and it's a heightened form of expression, heightened from just regular speech because we have all of the other elements of music around it. But just even looking at this one screenshot, look at her eyes, look at her face, look at how into this she is, and she's not staying stagnant all the way through. She's also a really great actress, and she has that Broadway experience, and I think that that plays into it. But being expressive in a pop setting like what she's doing is so challenging, I think. It's so easy to just neglect that and focus on everything else, but this is what we're going for. This is the end goal.
I'm holding on for dear life. Won't look down, won't open my eyes. Keep my glass full until morning light. Help me, I'm holding on for dear life. Sun is up, I'm a mess. Gotta get out now, gotta run from.
It's a clear sound, what she's getting right now, but it's not pressed. A lot of times when I try to teach people how to get a little bit more chest voice or a more clear sound, they end up being a little bit more pressed. And that's my tendency also in my own voice and in my spoken voice, is to just settle on that press place. She's getting a very clear sound without having that insane compression. So maybe she does have some little extra tensions all the way through, but that doesn't matter because at the base level, the phonation that she's getting is healthy. It's a really, really balanced sound.
Here comes the shame, here comes the shame.
And it's so easy to get really quiet right off of that, just as it's easy to start getting loud off of it.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Throw 'em back till I lose count.
Jeez.
Gonna swing from the chandelier.
Is she perfect on every pitch? No, it doesn't matter. No, stop judging yourself as much as you're judging yourself, because I know that there are some singers out there that need to hear that. You are okay. Professional singers are going to be off pitch a little bit sometimes, and that's completely fine, because every individual pitch does not, that's not important. What's important is the entire song, and she's connecting through all of these things, and if she's off a little bit, she makes a little bit of an adjustment, and she's usually not off at all, but like that last part, it was just a teeny bit off, and I know singers that just from that, they could sing everything else completely beautifully, but just from that one little bit off, they start punching themselves in the head and they wouldn't be able to get back into it. And then why would they want to go practice again if every time that they're going to practice, they're punching themselves in the head every time? It just doesn't make sense. So this is permission to be off key a little bit and to not focus on that, because you can get so much other amazing stuff going on in your voice if your main focus isn't pitch. If your main focus is trying to be on pitch every single time, you're not going to be able to figure out all the configurations that actually help you get into that good pitch.
From the chandelier. Hey, gonna live like tomorrow doesn't
Most of her vowels are pretty narrow.
like it doesn't exist.
By narrow, yeah, they're wide like this, but they're not open and trying to pull chest. It's the underlying thing. It's not really open. These are mostly closed vowels. I wasn't meaning narrow, I was meaning closed. So these closed vowels generally help you mix a little bit higher through that bridge. So you see that she goes to that I, like that really big one, and then it goes a little bit more narrow or a little bit more closed. So just playing around with how closed and how open you can get on each note will help you get a lot more options for each note. And then when she gets back up, the erd, even though it was a little bit more open, everything worked because it was above the bridge. She just had to get through that bridge. And that was on up to the E, where she was able to open up that vowel again and not have it mess everything up. Where maybe if she had that same vowel a few notes lower, it would just make her want to pull a little bit too much, and then the body starts compressing on itself. So she knows her voice so well.
Watch my tears as they dry. Gonna swing from the chandelier, from the chandelier. I'm holding on for you. Won't look down, won't open my eyes. Help me, I'm holding on for dear life. Won't look down, won't open my eyes. Keep my glass full until morning. Help me, I'm holding on for dear life.
I love that. She is just such a good singer. It's amazing and it's inspiring. She's really good. There's not much else to say. I mean, I just talked for a long time, so I hope you liked that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you're interested in this kind of video analysis, please consider pressing that button, that bell button, so that you can get these in the future when I make them. And go check out my website, vocalease.net, if you're interested in signing up for a lesson with me. Thank you.